I grew up in the Assemblies of God church, and my dad was always felt like he was called to be a missionary to the boardroom. So we grew up. Can I put this down just a smidge? I don't want to like lose it all together, but I'm not as tall as most. So that's good. Yeah, that's good. So with his job, we traveled around a lot. So I was born in Maine, so I've lived in New England, lived in the Northeast, and his job had us moving every couple of years, so we were very mobile, which was kind of even from the beginning of life. And also when he went, what he did is he worked in finance, and he worked for Whirlpool, so he would go to a branch that was kind of failing, and he'd build up that branch and then hand it over to the local guy, and then we'd move on. So about every 2.5 years, we'd move around. But we also would jump into the local church when we did that as well. We either found a church plant or a church, growing church or a struggling church or whatever, and we were like all in. Mom was a secretary, Dad was a lady leader, we were at every salty musical that ever came out, those types of things. So it's in my DNA to move around and to be involved in church. And we know that the best resource that a church has is the people. Long story short, I'll get back to that in a minute. If you had asked me what the Midwest was, because I'm from Maine, I lived in Indiana in high school, so Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, that's the Midwest. Yeah, right? Until you get like more west. And so when I moved here to Missouri, I worked for Convoy of Hope, so that brought me to Missouri. And I've actually been a missionary with the Assemblies of God. Prior to coming, I worked Chi Alpha for a couple of years, and now I work with Convoy of Hope for the last 10.5 years. And that brought me to Missouri, and I'm like, this is the South, you guys. I live in the South. It's not, yeah, you guys are saying Midwest, I know. But I have a friend or a coworker that was from Tennessee. She's like, you guys, I live in the North. This is the North, you guys. I'm like, we can't agree. So for me, if I say something that a Northerner would say, please forgive me. I'm still trying to assimilate even into the culture here. But so as far as the church being, the people in the church being the best asset of the church is, working for Convoy of Hope, we have staff and we have both. I don't know if any of you have been to our campuses. We are outgrowing our buildings, where we now are like squeezed into 3 different buildings and then some satellite stuff. But we can't do what we do, serving in 14 different countries with over 200,000 children in a feeding program without volunteers and without local people to help us. I'm working now, I've changed positions. I used to work with our short-term missions teams for the last 10 years. Now I'm working disaster response. And we know that when you respond to disaster, you have to use the people that are there. So what we do well is mobilize volunteers, and that's what the church does well. And I really appreciate that with the church that you have here. Is the one thing, I moved into the neighborhood, I was committed to the church in the neighborhood, I'm committed to serving in this neighborhood, but I was super amazed at all of the stuff you do in the neighborhood, and all of the outreach opportunities that you have here in the neighborhood. So today is about service, and we are all called to be in service, but sometimes you don't feel like you're good enough to be in service. I know that I don't all the time. We can get to our first slide. Can we? Maybe? Have you ever felt ordinary? Just a little bit here. Before I came to Convoy, before I did Chi Alpha, I am an elementary school teacher. So class participation is encouraged. Okay? So, shout it out, feedback, bring it. So have you ever felt ordinary? Yeah, exactly. Always the supporting actress, never the lead role. How many been in high school? I was like, yeah. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Yeah, I'm not even a bridesmaid, so. Last to be picked for the kickball game. Even though you can't, I was gonna say dodgeball, but you can't play dodgeball anymore. Knowing a little about a lot of things, but not really being a master of anything. Do you ask this question? Who am I, next slide, that God can use me? What do I have to offer? David even said this in the Psalms, what is mankind that you are mindful of them? And the Son of Man, human beings, that you even care for them. God uses ordinary people, the next slide, to do extraordinary things. God specializes in the impossible and mobilizing the ordinary to do impossible things. To be extraordinary means to be on what is usual. Extraordinary, exceptional in character, noteworthy, remarkable, but to be ordinary means of no special quality or interest, common, unexceptional, plain. Have any of you ever been called mediocre? You know, have you ever had like a mediocre day where it's just not like super, but it's not like bad, it's just mediocre? That's probably the most of what our days look like is mediocre. Nothing to write home about. Have you heard that phrase? Yeah, nothing to report. So these words describe many people have been in the Bible who have been used of God to do extraordinary things. We're gonna kind of flip through these kind of quickly. Not sure how it's going to show up on the slide, but Shapira and Pua. Some of these are like obscure people in the Bible, but I actually had somebody identify it from across the room today. He looked at my notes. He's like, "Oh, are those the midwives that like defied Pharaoh?" And I was like, "Really? You're not supposed to know those people? Those are the ones you're not supposed to know." Bezalel is a simple architect who God gave the job of a lifetime. These are in the Bible, guys, so you can look them up if you want to. Ehud. Do you remember the Ehud? He like stabbed some big guy, you know? What was his character quality? He was left-handed. How many of you are left-handed? You can be used of God. Did you know that? You're hired. Shamgar, though mentioned only once in Scripture, he still had time to kill 600 Philistines and save Israel. After Ehud came Shamgar, son of Anath, who struck down 600 Philistines with an ox goad. He too saved Israel. You know, I had to look up what an ox goad is too. But the guy, like, he's only mentioned a blip in Scripture, but he killed 600 Philistines to save Israel. Asa was a son of godless parents who became a godly king. Tychicus, yeah, see, I don't even know how to pronounce these too, is a courier who delivered holy telegrams. Ashahel was a fleet-footed sprinter with a tenacious heart for his king. Hushai is a covert counselor for David who successfully infiltrated enemy ranks. Abraham and Sarah, what were they? They were what? Yes, they're patriarchs of the faith. But what happened in their old age? They had their first child when they were old. So Abraham and Sarah were old. David was a shepherd, but not only was a shepherd, he was an adulterer. He was a murderer. Gideon was poor and a farmer. Joseph was a carpenter. Mary was a teenager. God can use teenagers. Peter, Andrew, James, and John, what were they? Fishermen. Matthew was a tax collector. Zacchaeus was short. How about Lazarus? He was dead. Lazarus was dead. How many of you know someone or have heard of someone who has been affected by cancer? Every one of you should have your hands raised, because I know Pastor has shared his testimony. I am a cancer survivor. 1 year ago, I finished my chemo treatments. How many of you have debilitating arthritis? I do too. I've already had both knees replaced. But next month, I'm going to Tanzania, on a missions trip. Super cool. I'm gonna walk slow and hobble along, but I'm going. So God delights in using ordinary men for his extraordinary experiences and purposes. We know that God's kingdom economics are opposite of what we think they should be. The last shall be first, but the first shall be last. To be great among you, you must be a servant of all, the least of these. That's what it's about, guys. It's about service. Now that you've got, what were the first ones? We connected, We're growing in the Lord. Now we have to have an outward focus. Because if we keep it all inward, then we're going to explode. Because this is what God created us to do, is to have an outward focus. If you try to keep your life, you'll lose it. But if you lose it for my sake, you'll preserve it. Humble yourself in the Lord, and He will lift you up. His power is made perfect in my weakness. We have been set free from sin and have become slaves to righteousness. This is my favorite verse, Acts 4:13. When they, the Sanhedrin, or the religious leaders of Israel, saw the courage of Peter and John and realized that they were unschooled, ordinary men, they were astonished and they took note that these men had been with Jesus. All you have to do to be qualified to serve, the heart of a servant, is to have been with Jesus. That's what qualifies you as an ordinary purpose. Now, God does give us gifts and talents, and we need to take spiritual inventory of the spiritual gifts, and we need to take a skills assessment. What do we do well to be used of the church? And Pastor may call on you to do some certain things in the church. But you want to have you want to be on the bus. The church is like the bus, you're on the bus. But you just don't want to be anywhere on the bus. You want to be in the right seat on the bus. Because if you start ministering in an area that's not where God has given you your giftings, you're going to be frustrated. Pastor's going to be frustrated. And the people that you're serving are going to be frustrated. So it's okay. Just because there's an opportunity doesn't mean it's a calling. But there are other opportunities that may be your calling. But all you have to do is to be with Jesus. God orchestrates divine appointments in our ordinary, everyday lives. I'm going to skip a little bit over to, skip a slide or two, I don't know. But not a day goes by that we don't have an opportunity to serve and to love or to give or to learn. And you're going to hear in the next couple of weeks, go, and what was the last one? Worship. Which worship, as you will find, is going to be all along the way. You can worship God in your connecting. You can worship God in your growing. You can worship God in your serving. Service is worship, you guys. Not just songs, not just prayers, not just hymns, not just scripture reading. Service is worship. And you worship in your go. It's kind of all in there. So being a servant is more than an attitude, is more of an attitude than a vocation. If you are saved, you are a missionary. Did you know that? Because if you didn't, I'm telling you. I'm telling you today. You are called to serve. And it's not necessarily how you get paid for it. And it's not necessarily the desk you sit behind, or the wheel of a car you sit behind, or whatever that you do. It's more of an attitude than what your hands are actually doing. Now, there's significance in what your hands are doing for service to the Lord, but you have to have the attitude behind it as well, of a servant mindset. You are a chosen generation to be called out of darkness into His marvelous light. 1 Peter 2:9. I'm going to read it in the Message too, because I love the paraphrase of that. Now, you know the difference between paraphrases and translations, right? Okay. This is a paraphrase. But you are the ones chosen by God, chosen for the high calling of the priestly work, chosen to be a holy people, God's instruments to do His work and to speak out for Him, to tell others of the night and day difference He made for you, from nothing to something, from rejected to accepted. You have a job to do. Not just your daily work that you get up for in the morning and go and make some money, but that helps support your habit of serving others. But we know that we cannot do it on our own. It is not man-generated. It's God-generated. Are you with me? Are we sleeping? Okay, 1 Corinthians 1:26 through 31 says, "Take a good look, friends, at who you were when you got called into this life. I don't see many of the brightest and best among you. Not many influential, not many from high society families. Anyone here? Yeah, I'm not from a high society family. Isn't it obvious that God deliberately chooses men and women that the culture overlooks and exploits and abuses? He chose the nobodies to expose the hollow pretensions of the somebodies. And why does God do that? So that we cannot boast in what we do. It's not on our own. Saving is all His idea and all His work. We just have to trust Him to do it in us. The movie has come out recently, well, not recent, super recently, but it's A Wrinkle in Time. I didn't care for the movie. It was kind of weird. But the book is so much better. And Madeline L'Engle, the author of that, really actually was struggling in her theology, and she was searching for the Lord. And I have one of these quotes, I have it on the slide here, she wrote during a time that she was kind of struggling with her relationship with the Lord. And she says, we try to be too reasonable about what we believe. What we believe is not reasonable at all. In fact, it's hilariously impossible. Possible things aren't worth much. The crazy, impossible things are what keeps us going. So we know that God can use ordinary people. God is in the business of strategically placing you and positioning you in the right place at the right time for such a time as this. You are here at Passion Assembly because this is where God wants you to be. And God is also calling you to serve through Passion Assembly. And we may not all agree, but we are called to unity, to work together in the church for a bigger purpose. So why should you want to be used? Other than the fact that the Bible commands it. Did you know that it's a command? There are benefits. There are benefits to being used. 2 Peter says, His divine power has given us everything we need for life and godliness, through our knowledge of Him who has called us by His own goodness. And through these things He has given us very great and precious promises, so that through them we may participate in the divine nature. And then for this reason, we make every effort to add to our faith. And we add to our faith in order to serve in an outward manner. For if you possess these qualities in increasing measure, it talks about goodness, knowledge, self-control, perseverance, godliness, mutual affection, and love, they will keep you from being ineffective and unproductive in your knowledge of our Lord Jesus Christ. Now, this is a good thing for me as a northerner, because I am very task-driven. Are any of you task-driven? Even here in the South, the Midwest, there's people that are task-driven. Yes, I am very task-driven. I am type A, if you do your assessments of your, gifts and stuff. And I don't know if you've heard the phrase, but I'm CDO. It's OCD because the letters have to be in alphabetical order. So it's CDO. That's me. You like that? Yes. So it helps to have a purpose and to be called productive at something. So how do you define success? And for everyone it's going to be different. But success is actually just making the most of every opportunity. Making the most of every appropriate opportunity. And the word appropriate, I think we kind of misuse it here, but I really like it because the word appropriate means the right thing at the right time. So it's more than just taking the most of every opportunity, but it's, again, not every opportunity is a calling because you can't do it all. Pastor cannot do it all. Pastor should not do it all. That's why he has all of us here. That's what service is about. We can't do it without all of us. So making the most of it appropriately every opportunity. And success is doing the best you can with what you have. And we know that you have skills, and we know that you have talents, but we also have spent time with Jesus. So in a sense, success is relative. It's as unique to you as your fingerprint. But the common denominator is that all successful people is that they can spot that opportunity to serve a mile away. Their eyes are looking up. I mean, I love your generation. But everybody's like this. You see the tops of everybody's heads. And now, I mean, my parents do too, so there's older people that do it too. But I go to the airport a lot. I'm in the mall. Well, I'm not in the mall. It's not like shopping. But I'm in the airport a lot. People watch a lot. Everyone has, at restaurants, has their head down. We've lost the art of social interaction. And if your head is down all the time, it's difficult to see what's around you. Now, I've taken through the assemblies, you have to take some training, and you have to take some security training, and active shooter training, and what happens if somebody comes in. Do you know what kind of the characteristics of some of these people that come in? Let's say like if a law enforcement officer were to walk in this door, or let's say a SEAL, a Navy SEAL, or what's the big CIA, Marine, sure. Any Marines? Thank you for your service. But if a Marine walks in this room, he's going to look at the room differently. He's going to interact with the room differently. He's not probably not, if it's in a spy, if you're going to be a protector or a bodyguard, you're going to look at the room differently. He's probably not going to come into this room and sit here in the front row and look at me. He's going to not have his back to the door. He's going to have counted all the exits. He's going to see what's around him. He's going to see who has a gun, who's got their conceal and carry or not conceal and carry. He's going to know how many men are here. He's going to see who's in flip-flops and who's in shoes. Who's got a backpack. He's going to notice all of these different things, but you can't notice all of those things if your eyes are down. And I would encourage you, as a servant, to keep eyes up, looking around, open for those opportunities that are coming. Because they're there. We don't ever have to ask God for opportunity, because they're there. And the best thing that we can hear after all of that is, well done, good and faithful servant. That is what our heart longs for when we meet the Lord. Well done, good and faithful servant. So there are benefits to answering this call. Even Psalm 103 lists the whole thing that says, forget not his benefits. A life not centered on God is meaningless and purposeless. And we know that that's not our heart's cry. Our heart's cry is to be used of God and to hear, well done, good and faithful servant. Deuteronomy 30. God gives us an exam. Did you know God gives us exams? I mean, he gives us little mini tests throughout the day, but we have a big exam, like a cumulative final exam. And I know you got exams in the next couple of days, so you might be able to feel this a little bit too close, too soon, I know. But God also gives us the study guide, and he gives us the answer key, and he actually circles the answer and then just says, circle on top of my circle that you've already answered. It's multiple choice. There's only one question, and it's two choices. Choose life or choose death. Blessing or curse. Restoration or separation. Compassion or adversity. Prosperity or poverty. Life or death. It's one question. Choose life with all the benefits, or choose death with all the consequences. And he tells us the answer. Deuteronomy. I have set before you today life and prosperity, and death and adversity. Here's the answer. What do you think it is? Choose life. Choose life. 1 Corinthians says, I have the right to do anything. Everything is permissible for me. I can do anything I want. I have a free will. I can serve. I can not serve. I can tell people about Jesus. I cannot tell people about Jesus. God loves us either way. But not everything is beneficial. Everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial. I can do or not do. I can serve or not serve, but do I want blessings? Or do I want to not hear well done, good and faithful servant? This is a story that my dad tells, and there's a lady in my dad's church that thinks this is absolutely hilarious. But my dad is one of those people. How many of you read the instructions you get, to assemble something prior to doing a project? How many of you do you? How many of you throw the instructions away and say, I'm going to wing it? Yes. Yes, it's okay. It's okay. That may be your gift. I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking it. But there's a little phrase in a lot of those instructions that says, for best results. And sometimes we want to skip over that little phrase or not read it at all. So this is my dad's story. He's repaving or epoxying the garage floor. And he did the whole thing, and it was fine. But then things started flaking away and chipping up and stuff. So he wanted to do some of the spots. Well, he didn't read the instructions. So, you got two things and an agitator and a whatever, and you put them together, and then you got those little paint flakes in there, that you got to mix around and stuff. And he put it on the floor, and it looked horrible. It looks horrible. And I don't know why that makes that one lady laugh so hard every time he tells it. But for best results applies in our life as well. We can do things or we can not do things. We can choose to serve or not to be used of God. But for best results, what God has put in our heart is to serve Him and to hear well done, good and faithful servant. But we know that it's tough to do it when you're scared, or when you feel insignificant, or when you're young, or when you're sick, or when you're old, or when you're young, or when fill in the blank. Moses, what a great impact he had on all of history, said, I don't speak well, which kind of was a lie, because he had super education and stuff, but he said, who am I? You can't use me. And God's like, you know what? I'll send you some help. Not only will I send you your brother, Aaron, but I'm also going to give you super cool miracles, and you're going to be able to do this stuff. So I had one team member at one time ask me, why do you do what you do? It's dangerous to do what you do. And do you ever have an issue praying for safety? And I had been thinking about that before he asked me that question, and I said, I really do. Because how many of you know that the most exciting stories are the ones that defy death? Right? Somebody's famous last words are, hey bud, look at this, watch this, see what I'm going to do. Those have been famous last words of a lot of people. Okay, the boring vacation photos are the ones, you got the big carousel, I'm dating myself back in the day, where it just goes around and they got the pictures here's me with a volcano, here's me with a monkey, here's me with whatever. They're exciting for them, but it's not exciting for you, right? Because it's pretty boring. But can you imagine going on a vacation and everything went well, exactly as expected, the food was good, but nothing to write home about. But you hear the stories, especially on Facebook and on Instagram, of all the things that went wrong. And all of the things that you, this morning, you just gotta go with the flow, and it's all part of the adventure, but those are the most exciting stories, and that's where God is gonna work the most. So I have a hard time praying for safety, but I always pray for God's provision. I think of Jonah when I think of this. In the belly of a big fish is not a safe place to be. That's not a place that I would seek to go, right? But we know that in the belly of that big fish is exactly where Jonah was supposed to be, because that is where God put him, and that is the safest place to be. Yes. Because that is where God calls you, and He gives you His provision. So instead of praying for safety, I pray for provision. And because that's the exciting stories. Those are the exciting stories. So, now that you know what you know, What are you going to do with what you know? The people God uses in the journey are not the people who have incredible, unwavering faith, so much as they are normal, ordinary people that are willing to take the next step down the path. How many of you know the movie What About Bob? Yeah. Baby steps to the elevator. Okay? Take the next step. Choose life. Live today like you believe God is who He says He is and what He says He's going to do. Anticipate the adventure ahead, eyes up, looking out. Wake up in the morning with an intentionality that there's an opportunity for you to serve, and He will use you. Amen? If the team would like to come. The focus now is, now that you know what you know, what are you going to do with what you know? God may be working in some of you that you may need to take that next step. And you don't know what it is. Or it's super scary. Or it's not visible. Because sometimes He doesn't clearly tell us. But if you could, right now, ask God. Because you know that James says, if any of you lacks wisdom, you can ask God, who gives generously. He'll give you the wisdom generously. Ask the question. So we're going to take a few moments right now to have inward introspection on how God is asking you to take that next step in service, whether it be here at the church, during the week, or on a Sunday morning, or with the kids. There's plenty of opportunities here. Find out what your gifts are, but right now, take this time. The altar is open. First, we want to make sure everyone has made a decision for the Lord. So if you want to have that opportunity to ask Jesus to be Lord and Savior of your life, because without Him, our service is ineffective and unproductive. So please, altars are open. We're here to pray with you. Ask God how He wants you to take that next step.